Alright, these are the last two films in that bullshit Poundland collection of crap horror films. Not long left to go now. On the home stretch, baby. Oh yeah. Bela Lugosi, yet another repeat offender in these films in The Invisible Ghost. A title which makes a lot of sense to me, since ghosts are generally believed to be invisible. So Lugosi plays a man by the name of Kessler. No, not that Kessler. And he lives in his large house with his daughter after losing his wife years ago in a car accident, or he killed her, or some other bollocks. And he has this creepy tendency to pretend his wife is alive on their anniversary each year. But other than that, completely not mental. Honest. Kessler's daughter Virginia and this guy named Ralph have plans to get married, but this maid here is in love with Ralph for some unknown reason. But just forget about her. This is Evans, the old butler. Oh yes, and this is the gardener, who we find out is hiding Kessler's wife in somewhere underground. And yet he's failed to mention this because Kessler didn't know his wife survived, and even though she has, she's not the same, as she was brain damaged in the accident.
Home. I want to go home too.
Oh, but you are home, and as soon as you feel better, I'm going to take you to your husband and daughter.
He sees his wife outside in the dark and thinks he's gone mental, but when he looks back, she's gone. I'm only sticking this in because I have to admit I laughed. It's Lugosi walking down the stairs like a drooling retard. He then proceeds to walk towards the maid, looking like a crackhead. It's priceless. And he suffocates her. Just look at this. It's comedy gold, if you ask me. And then all of a sudden, Ralph is sentenced to death for her murder. And he's killed. But he didn't do anything. Then Ralph's twin brother Paul randomly turns up at the door and is going to stay until he solves the mystery of why his brother was unjustly killed. Kessler's wife pops up in the same clip that we saw before, and Lugosi goes into crackhead mode again and kills Jules the gardener. Oh look, he's not dead. Oh no, wait, he is dead. Paul starts asking random questions and piecing together what's happening. A random lady cooks for the night, but as usual, Lugosi does a bit of crack, sees his wife, and almost kills his daughter. Paul sees Kessler walking around at night and gets very suspicious, and so at some point one of the cops dies. Oh, look at that! He closed his eyes when he fell over. So people suspect Evans the butler, but he seems perfectly sane. Kessler's wife goes into the house to steal food, but some random cops find her and take her to the room where everybody is. And on sight of her, Kessler once again turns into a drooling junkie. The good guys realise he's the killer. Mrs. Kessler randomly falls down and dies. And what's this film got to do with a ghost? Whatever. And Kessler gets taken away by the police. So overall, it was an enjoyable hour well spent for a film made in 1941. And it really is worth watching to see the moments where Bela Lugosi acts like a mental case. 6.5 out of 10. Screaming Skull begins with a coffin, some ominous music, and a disclaimer. Just listen to this.
The Screaming Skull is a motion picture that reaches its climax in shocking horror. Its impact is so terrifying that it may have an unforeseen effect. It may kill you. Therefore, its producers feel they must assure free burial services to anyone who dies of fright while seeing The Screaming Skull.
Wow, shock horror. I don't think anything can touch me now after witnessing the fatal hour. Finally, I'm so relieved I'm watching a film with decent audio quality. Okay, I'm lying. It's fucking bollocks. And also the volume is choppy as well. Okay, the story opens with newlyweds Eric and Jenny moving into a country home. And these are Eric's friends, Reverend and Mrs. Snow. And that's Mickey the gardener. and Mickey talks to a painting of Eric's previous wife, Marion. Yeah, the gardener seems a bit crazy, and it would appear he really liked her. And after she died, he went mental, and he searches the grounds every night for Marion. So Jenny wakes up in the middle of the night and hears banging shutters. She closes them and... What? I appear to have missed something. Is the painting meant to be scary, or is the painting meant to be doing something? And Eric basically tells her that she's mental. And holy shit, is that a skull? Oh my god, somebody call a funeral home. I'm going to need a coffin, I'm dying of fright. Oh, and speaking of skulls, they seem to keep popping up throughout the film, making Jenny go crazier and crazier. Oh, I thought I'd just mention that in the past that Jenny spent a short amount of time in the loony bin, because she witnessed her parents kill themselves, but it's not really important to know. She has an odd dream and keeps hearing screaming, but I thought it was just the peacocks outside. And this scene in the middle goes on for ages. Ah, screw this. Let's just skip to her fainting. Ah, better. So Eric spouts off some crap about how Mickey made her faint and stuff with the skull. But I figured he was talking out of his arse by this point. I'm sorry, but I have to bring up the audio again, because I really had to strain to hear what the hell was being said. Maybe I just have a duff copy of the film. So they burn the picture of his wife, and the skull appears yet again. Amazing. Yet Eric can't see it. He then proceeds to pick it up, so my guess is he's evil. And then Mickey clocks Eric hiding the skull, so he moves it and tells the Reverend so they can stop Eric. Jenny goes to the greenhouses and sees Marion's spirit. Well, I think that's what happened. I mean, what the fuck is this? I'll play that again in slow motion. She runs away into the house. Eric appears and tries to strangle her. Marion's spirit appears and chases him. Oh man, look at that. That moment's priceless. Wow. Zooming into a skull. Breathtaking. So the skull randomly attacks him, and he falls into the pond and dies. And, yeah, that's it really. You know, for a film claiming to be so scary that it might kill you, I have to say I laughed more than anything. But this is the kind of rubbish I've come to expect from old films, and it's just the kind of crap I would watch. 4 out of 10. Now, this will be the last video I will make in 2011. So to everyone, have a very Merry Christmas, and before you know it, it will soon be December 31st. This year has been pretty dry for me on the alcohol side of things, so I'm going to make up for it with, you know, what remains of the rest of the year, which is about 10 days. So for the rest of the festive season, I'm off to go get drunk and erase all 24 of these films from my mind. And I wish you all a happy new year too, and I'll see all of you in January 2012.